Hello, and welcome to the Franchise Connection, where there's 3 times the story, 3 times the thrills, and 3 times the Vincent Price. I'm Matt Fisher.
I'm Matt Sparrow.
And today we're wrapping up the first half of Roger Corman's post-cycle with Tales of Terror 1962. Spoils ahead of the whole movie. Based on various Edgar Allen Poe stories, Tales of Terror treats viewers to an anthology film composed of 3 haunting stories: Morella, the Black Cat, and the facts in the case of Mr. Valdemar. We'll begin with Morella. Morella follows Lenora Locke, Maggie Pierce, as she returns home after being away for many years. When she sees her father, Locke, Price, he's angry and annoyed to see her, talking down to her and demanding she leave. Locke blames Lenora for a horrible tragedy which left him alone, mad and suicidal. However, when Lenora shares terrible news with Locke, he reflects on his actions and changes his attitude. As the two spend more time together, they start to reconnect and help heal each other's emotional wounds. This happy reunion will be short-lived, though, as something sinister plans to push them apart all over again.
So how do you like that first story?
Honestly, I thought it was okay. I had an interesting setup. It began with the same structure we've seen in a lot of the other movies, which is maybe why I kind of like the other stories a little bit better. It was a little something different. She's being transported
to the castle.
There's fog. There's a big door. They go inside. It's a big empty house. Again, like the whole set and production design looks terrific. But story-wise, I thought it was okay. It was very kind of like very quick. I wanted to be a little bit longer and be able to develop some characters a little bit better and the story a little bit more. It felt like it just hit the basic beats.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the story, I didn't read the book, but I did read the synopsis of what's supposed to happen in the story.
It's like reading the clip notes before you even test, Matt. Okay.
I know.
But anyway,
So, the story itself is about a guy who falls in love with his good friend named Morella. They have a kid. When the kid turns 10, the wife names the daughter Morella as well. The daughter dies.
Okay.
And the whole thing is in the book they look alike.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, it kind of makes the guy distraught and...
What, because like every time he sees the wife, he thinks of the daughter?
Yeah.
Like, he kind of about like what he lost. That sounds like more like Poe-esque than this one did. This one, I mean, at times felt kind of like a soap opera to me. I mean, not in a bad way. It had a very kind of like Dark Shadows soap opera because it had that kind of gothic feel to it.
Yeah.
But it was like, you have the daughter that's been away for 26 years. She's trying to reconnect with the dad. The dad doesn't like her because he essentially blames her
for the death of the mother.
Yeah, and then she tells him some like horrible news that she's dying, and then he's like, "Oh, I changed my mind," and reconnect, and he reminisces about the mom, and she learns a little bit more about the mom that she didn't know because he essentially just sent her away after the mom died. The mom was Morella. And then
the ghost of Morella possesses.
Well, you're skipping ahead, but we'll get to that. But even before all that, like, so I thought what I expected with this. I guess we'll talk about it in general toward the end. But I like how before each movie there's a little like narration, something spooky with Vincent Price narrating. This one had like a heart beating more and more. He's talking about, beating hearts and
the
death.
Sound.
So it kind of sets you in the mood for something spooky. But like we said, so the story kind of begins like all the other ones you've already seen. Something I thought was kind of cool is that when Lenore walks in the house, and she's looking around, like it's covered in dust, but it's almost like pale. Like the house is dead too, just as much as Locke is, and it's kind of, I don't know.
Did the tarantulas creep you out?
Always. I mean, it made me jump out of the seat, but it just didn't make me go like, oh, great, another one. Yeah, that's his pet spider. When we watched the movie, I said to Matt, it's like expected Locke to go, "I'm lonely, give me a break, I needed a pet." Like I thought that was kind of cool, the setting, that kind of captures the mood of the movie, of the story. Like, it's a mini movie, it's an anthology. But I thought the score when she walked in, like Les Baxter did the music, and the music's really good.
The music overall, like
yeah.
all three stories, the music's just fantastic.
I think that's one of the strongest parts of this movie, because it's fun because each one, again, I guess we're skipping ahead because we're saying about like each one, but we could summarize by saying each one the score feels a little different every time.
Yeah, and each of the stories has a different tone.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I thought it was kind of cool also when Lenore walks in and she's looking for her dad. Like, there's a sense of she has a brightness that this house hasn't had in a while because her clothes, her wardrobe are very bright.
Yes.
And very, vibrant. So I thought that was kind of cool. Again, like this little like details in the set and production design that was excellent. Then Lenore's looking for her dad, and who shows up? Vincent Price. He's back, and he played his first role is very interesting to see him very like not evil or like distraught, but just mean. He's very bitter, and to see him play that, it definitely you got that feeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this film, just an interesting thing I saw was this film was filmed between November and December of 1961.
Now with this IMDb trivia.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that's just like a little like, okay, you can kind of see that with the way like the dead trees and everything too. Like, oh, this was filmed in the fall and winter.
Well, was that a set or was that actually location?
I think part of it was set, part of it was location, but even then, it's just like, I'm sure some of the stuff was shot outside.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was looking a little confused. Like it was that story was filmed around that time.
No, the whole movie.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say like, well, that shows,
all three.
That shows how quickly they would be able to make a movie back then. That's pretty cool. Maybe that's one reason why the film is just overall.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, how were you excited to see Vincent Price back this time playing when the first story's playing Locke, the master of the house.
I liked to see him back, and I liked how different each of the roles he played was.
And let's just talk about Morella first.
But for Morella, it was nice to see him back, even if his character was just very mean and bitter.
I mean, you kind of got
you
why.
You understood why, but it was just like, okay, he still brought that like
gravitas,
the gravitas and that little spice that you expect.
I mean, even the way he's talking to daughter was just kind of like you felt. I thought it was good too because Maggie Pierce, who played Lenore, like she did capture that feeling of like, hey, I've been like being very upset as she should be. She's like, I'm here to see you again, and we find out why she's there to see him. It makes that moment even harder to watch in a way that she's like, I'm here. He's like, I don't care, and like there's a part was
I thought his turnaround to wanting to reconnect her was way too quick.
Well, that's overall, that's what I meant when I said, like, I thought this story was fine, but it felt, like, rushed. Yeah, that's the way I was thinking about it. It was rushed. Because in the other movies, because there's one story, they had time to flesh a lot of things out. And this time around, it was very, like, we're telling 3 stories and we have to kind of get to the point quickly. So, like, basically, what I was saying was, he does have a change of heart. But, like, up to then, he's just kind of, like, yelling. He's drinking. He's just, wafting through life, drunk and miserable. And basically, like, there's a part 2 where, like, he just really hates his daughter. And he hates Lenore. And he even says, like, to a portrait of his wife, that murderer is back. And you're like, what does that mean? Murderer?
And they don't really give you any real answers to those questions. They give you a little bit, but
I think with the stuff with Lenore and Morella, they do. But other things a little bit more confused. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Quick. And then Lenore is just pretty much saying like, "Well, I can't go home right now. I came from Boston. It's too late, so I'm gonna stay here. I don't care." And
I don't have a ride.
Yeah, she even like regrets even trying to do anything with her father.
Yeah.
He's 26 years. It's a long time to be apart and she's had a whole life that he doesn't even know anything about. Even like later on, before that, I mean, in some ways, like Locke's character goes down, like has a lot of horrible thoughts. Like not that he would act on it, but like you remember the part where like he was so in grief.
Yeah.
Over what Lenore did to the mom. Again, she just
did to the mom, quote unquote, because it's not even really clear if she actually did anything. Or
again, like a little ambiguous.
Yeah, it's Morella blames Lenora for
Locke.
her.
Well, Morella does too. Yeah. Right.
Quote unquote. Based on what Locke said, Locke said that they had a party, and when she was dying, she blamed the baby, which would have been Lenora.
And those were the last words, and what else did he have to go on?
But even then, you don't even know if that was true, because you only have his word to go on it.
And it's very subjective, because like it's everything that he's telling Lenora. We weren't there. We don't get to see any flashbacks. No cool silent movie flashbacks by Corman this time around. Something I forgot though. Lenora's like saying, "I'll stay here." Locke's keeping his wife's body out in the open in like the bedroom,
and he's like, "I can't. I tried burying her, and then I was like, why should I keep her buried?"
But the makeup,
couldn't do it.
The makeup effect on that was really good, because if there's something I have to say about all these movies, is that when they show a corpse or like something in a coffin, like they went all out to creep you out. There's only one way. This is the part that's going to scare people, and maybe by the sense it doesn't scare you, but it does have an impact.
It definitely has that creep. It has that creepy feel that you don't really see in movies anymore, because they're so focused on jump scares.
That, and also it's like practical effects.
And practical effects.
Make it feel real because it is real. But it's just another creepy image amongst this whole series that we watched so far. That was cool, and that does come back later on too. But when we were talking about like Locke being upset with the daughter, like in his grief, he was like, he even said like, I would have thrown the baby out the window. Like he was just so upset about like every time like he saw this child and remembered of his wife, like he was having some very difficult thoughts. And I guess maybe that's the connection that with the original story that you were saying about. Like it was just kind of like, I guess, trying to deal with reflections of like was somebody or something looks like something you remember, and it's hard to kind of like get past something if something bad happened to someone. But then we get to the moment later on where Lenora says like she tells her father that she's dying.
Yeah, she's dying,
and that's why she came home.
And then they reconnect for a little bit, and then she goes to bed.
And it's a soap opera. And I just wanted like the dun dun dun.
She goes to bed, and I think my favorite part, which definitely is not very Poe-esque.
Well, even before that, I don't jump ahead to the climax of the movie. But I think that's the moment that again, like he's reflecting on the daughter looking like the mother, and he's reflecting like what happened to her happened to the daughter, and that's just a moment that he changes. But I do agree with you that it was so quick. You want some more drama between the two characters, and it just kind of got to the point so fast that there was a lot more they could have mined from the story.
Like even then, they could have, if they really needed only. They could have taken some time out of the second story, because as much as I like the second story, it didn't need to be 40 minutes of the movie.
Well, yeah, I have some feelings about that too when we get to it.
And you could have used 10 minutes or so to flesh out the first story.
There's a lot of telling and not showing, I guess. And you got to that part where, and I thought it was really good on Pierce's part, like the way she acted when she's talking to Dad. She's like, "You never asked for me once. You never asked what I did, how I was, whatever." and like made her feel so worthless.
Yeah.
And now you come back home and your father doesn't want to see you at all. You just feel even more miserable with that. And it made it feel like, does my father even care? And then when he hears that and kind of like understands how he's been treating her, then he's like, I was wrong. It's very quick.
Yeah.
And I feel like if this movie was either like 2 stories, which you don't have an anthology, 3 is just always a good number for an anthology, but that moment would have probably been like made the midpoint.
Yeah.
Or you would have gotten at least like 25 minutes before you got to that, and you would have had more like her working to fix the problem with the father instead of just happening immediately.
I mean, there are anthologies with 2 stories.
Yeah, like what?
There's a movie called Two Evil Eyes. One film made by George Romero, and the other one made by Dario Argento. They're both Poe adaptations.
Oh, cool. That's cool, because you don't really see that. It's like
Originally it was supposed to be Poe and John Carpenter, but Carpenter had to
drop out.
Was it John Carpenter and Romero? But Carpenter had to drop out, so they got Dario Argento to make an adaptation.
So it was possible this movie could have had 2 stories, and if I think, I don't know, I guess by the end of this conversation, I'll think to myself, which one would I would have kept to make the movie a little bit more better developed. But yeah, after they deal with the forgiveness, and I thought this was done well too. Like I do like when Price is doing a monologue, you can see what he's saying in your head so well, and he's monologuing to Lenore.
There were so many good monologues in this movie.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah. But like
that was another high point for the movie was just the monologues.
Yeah. But like he's talking about. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. No, I didn't. I skipped ahead. But yeah. He's talking about the party and everything, and like just him walking into this empty dining room, and
you could see what he was saying, even though you couldn't actually see on the screen what he was saying.
And even with his body language, like when he talks about how fun they were having, and then the tragedy when the wife died, and the anger that came with her supposed revelation of why she was dying. It was captured very well, and once again shows why Price is just a good actor. And then
he's one of the greats.
And then later on, Lenore's when he's finally sitting down talking to his daughter and actually having a face to face with her. She explains like her marriage ended badly, and that she's sterile, she can't have children.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of made him go like, oh man, like I should have been there for her, but I was so caught up in it.
And I'm dying.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh wow, again the soap opera aspect of it. It's a lot to take in. It's almost like they checked all the boxes they needed to instead of just like, this one's fine. No. Yeah. I wonder if this was a shorter movie, if they would have just picked one of those instead of all of them. But I'm skipping around a lot.
I mean, we are.
Yeah, but then after that, she asks about the mom's death, and he goes about the party and everything. But yeah, it's so. But you made an interesting point before, though. Like, so she says it was the baby. I wonder if a part of it too is. Now that I'm thinking about it, do you think Morel maybe didn't want a child?
Maybe,
and maybe that's why she said it.
That's a possibility. I'm not even sure if Locke was telling the whole truth.
Why?
It's just with Poe stories, you always have the unreliable narrator. It's almost a
trope.
It's a trope that he uses marvelously throughout all of his things.
Okay, interesting. So it gives a little bit more ambiguity.
Yeah,
and it makes you kind of look deeper into it. And then like we said too, then after that, Dad pretty much became suicidal. Like he goes on to say he couldn't bear his wife. I guess for him it would felt permanent. I mean, you bury your body. It's a very permanent action, and it's for him to be alone with a baby that he doesn't know how to really feel about. It makes sense why
that corpse was marvelously preserved for 26 years.
Well, it is below mummified. Yeah. Then we get a voice going. I forget what she says, but it's like, she's back. Ooh. a spectral, ghost-like voice, and it's Morella speaking to us. There was good special effects here.
Yeah.
Because there's a spectral image walking through the house.
Yeah.
And it was very cool. It made me think of Nosferatu. When you had the hand is going against like that when he's walking up the steps and you have that shout. It reminded me of that, and then the hand going over like the town. I forget if that was in the original or the remake. I think it was I forget. But then it kind of no, it wasn't both because the hand goes over the woman's and then like it's kind of crushing her heart. You see the hand go over Lenora, and then this like she wakes up. She doesn't wake up; she's screaming like something's like killing her, and she doesn't know what it is or what's going on. And it's like she's having a fit as she's sleeping, and the dad Locke rushes in to find her, and he sees her last few moments alive, and then she dies.
Yeah.
And as he's talking to her, it's interesting. If this was the Locke we had seen before versus now. He would have been like made like good riddance, but he says to her like he's sad, and even says like he's envious that she's able to like move on while he can't.
And then he turns around and she's alive again.
Morella's back, and it made me think like was he going crazy at this point? Like you said, like, a lot of Poe stories you have characters dealing with madness. I think that's just a common theme of all his stories, really. But like I thought he might have been going mad here because he sees his wife in the back. She's alive. She's talking to him, and but it makes you wonder, like, is it her? Is it not? Like, there is a supernatural element, and you point out that this is kind of different from other Poe stories, at least that we've seen so far, where like the supernatural could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he was going mad?
I think he was going mad because that's the only thing that really makes any sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could have been a ghost or a possession, but I don't know.
And then on top of that, like he sees his daughter in the coffin where Morella was, and it's like even more like what the hell's going on?
Which is what kind of cements him going insane for me.
Yeah. It's almost like, again, it's like the reflection, like he sees the one face here, a face there. It's like to him now the two are just so alike because they're both dead. Either one could be.
Well, also in the story they look alike. Mm-hmm. So
I guess they do. They just have different hair, man. What's the problem with that? Yeah. But I thought the score too here that Baxter did was really because it was like building to like a really like building into suspense and building into the madness and the suspense of it all. Yeah. And then when he does see Morella, he also drops a candle that this starts the house goes aflame
and burning him and everyone in it.
And as this is happening, as flames are surrounding them, Morella goes and she kills Locke. Possibly he might just had a heart attack over what he was thinking or seeing, and he's dead. So this is my problem with some of the endings to these stories, at least for the first and the third one. It's just kind of like, what? Okay, that's it? What does that mean? Because it ended with Morella's corpse back in the coffin.
Right.
Locke's body on the ground, and the daughter's body on top of him too, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just like a text from the Poe story, and that was it. And you're just like, okay, what was... I get what happened, but what was supposed to happen? It feels like there might have been more there that he just kind of like omitted or had to omit for some reason.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, is that how you felt about the ending?
Yeah, I think it was rushed. It probably could have used another good 10, 15 minutes.
I mean, the climax to it, like with him, the daughter dying, seeing the wife come back, that was good, but it felt like some information wasn't there to kind of give you...
Stuff was lost in translation, basically.
Exactly, yeah, there's some... It wasn't clear, and then you're just like, huh? And then it's like, it ends. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. Alright, that was it. Yeah, I thought Morella was fine. It was a good setup. But like I said, I just wish it wasn't so rushed. 'Cause I think there was a better story here. And maybe if they tried to stick closer to source material, it might have been a more interesting story too.
Yeah.
Not that this wasn't on its own, but what you described as a story sounded a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, do you think it's because it felt a little similar to the other stories they had told before?
I think it was partially that. It was partially just the fact that it was rushed and you didn't have enough character development for any of the characters. And if you had a good, 15, 20 minutes more, you could have fleshed things out a bit more and made that climax make a little more sense.
Yeah. I thought otherwise. I mean, the acting was good. The acting was good. I really, you bought into Pierce and Price being a father and daughter. Like you felt that rough family dynamic. But yeah, well, it was fine. It was an okay start to the movie. Do you have any other thoughts about it?
Not really.
Okay.
It was a good primer.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. So next up is The Black Cat. The Black Cat is about drunkard Montresor Herringbone, Peter Lorre, who prefers spending all his time at the pub instead of being home with his wife, Annabelle Joyce Jameson. One day he stumbles upon a wine sellers convention where he meets the famous wine expert Fortunato Lucrezi Price, and they compete with each other in a wine tasting challenge. Later that night, Fortunato brings Montresor home and meets Annabelle, who he gets along with very well. Soon, Annabelle is giving Montresor money to go out and drink as much as he wants, but he begins to suspect she has an ulterior motive for doing so. When Montresor learns the truth, he'll put himself on a path of revenge, murder, and madness. Alright, so this is the second story. The Black Cat. Thoughts on it?
This was probably my favorite of the three.
Oh, really? Okay.
For two reasons. A, it adapts my favorite Poe story.
So how is the story different?
Well, it adapts. The adaptation, the Black Cat, it is very different from the Black Cat. Other than the fact that it has a black cat in it, and the black cat gets put in a wall at some point. The story is very different. It's very much more an adaptation of A Cask of Amontillado, which is my favorite Poe story.
So what, for the audience, what's the Cask of Amontillado?
A Cask of Amontillado is a story about Montresor, who is rivals with Fortunato.
So to interrupt, is that why when you heard his name in this story that you were like, oh, that gave you the thought that this was adapting?
Well, I knew ahead of time that this was one of the things it was adapting.
Yeah. But sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to.
So Montresor and Fortunato, they're rivals in the Poe story, and Montresor, wants to get at Fortunato's fortune. In the
is that subtle?
So he tricks him into following him drunkenly down into the cellar of his wine cellar, saying, "Oh, I've got a Cask of Amontillado. I know you like this, and just follow me down. Here, take some more wine."
And that's when Daylight NBC starts to report about it. No, I'm kidding.
And then he walls him up in he walls him up in his wine cellar and chained up and.
So the events that we see.
Okay, pretty much.
Okay, so it does kind of follow. It just takes a lot of liberties with the story.
Yes.
So this one opened up with the narration. It was kind of interesting because it's Black Cat, so it had these red footprints against, paw prints against a black background. That was kind of cool. Then Price, doing his narration. But yeah, so in this one, so Montresor is a drunk in that story too.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Or not off the top of my head, but I know he's a wine connoisseur, and he blames Fortunato for his fall in fortune.
Okay, but yeah, this one Montresor is flat out drunk.
Yes,
he's walking down the street, the sidewalk, going home. He's being followed by a black cat. Something I liked about this movie was, at least the story, it was nice to see a change in scenery, literally. So this is the first story where we kind of get more of a working class home.
This looks like it was like a city street.
Yeah, but even I think even city street, like the house itself, it's not a big mansion. There's not secrets there. It's just a place where they live. I mean, granted, at the end of the story, there is secrets to be told. But it was kind of like just nice to see a working class story instead of just more aristocrats and wealthy individuals.
Also, Peter Lorre was just fantastic.
I wonder how much fun he had talking like this all the time and singing weird songs from whatever era this was. So he comes home and he's just and I have to say when he I'm repeating myself. I apologize. When he comes home and the woman's in the house, I didn't know if it was his daughter or his wife at first. I guess because there was kind of an age difference between the two, so I was a little like confused. Not much of an age difference, but I was just kind of like, is she taking care of her dad? And then finally I'm like, oh no, it's his wife. I'm like, oh wow, I wrote this.
Oh, he's really treating her like crap.
Yeah,
too.
So and like he doesn't care for her.
Or her cat.
He hates her cat, and the cat's cute. The cat's cute, but he's just like, I hate this cat. And there's one part where like he keeps talking to her about like he just wants money to go drinking all the time. He just wants money. He goes, I want my money. And all I could think in my head was I was like, oh, it's like Stewie.
It was literally my...
Yeah. Where's my money? Where's my money?
I literally wrote that in my notes.
Me too,
It was like, this is totally Stewie and Brian.
Yeah, and so it made me think, like, if the first story was like a soap opera, this one was more like a sitcom. Up to the ending.
Yeah.
Because it had a very, like a King of Queens type feel to it. Like, you just imagine that goofy sitcom music.
I mean, tonally, even the music was.
Yeah, the movie was like whimsical. Yeah, in the first like 2/3 of the story. Yeah, absolutely. And then the his wife Annabelle is telling him we don't have money. He goes, I know you have more money for this. He goes, yeah, but we need it for this or that.
We need it for food.
Yeah,
he's like, I drink my food.
Yes, I put that in my notes too. And then she brings him up to his bed to sleep, and he's kind of like he's hallucinating because he sees a snake on the bed, and then it's just gone. Or is the snake the cat?
No, I think he was hallucinating from just drinking so much.
And then we learned too that he's been out of work for a number of years. So
14 years.
It's 14. Okay, I had the wrong number in my notes.
He had not worked in 14 years.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe there's a reason for him drinking all the time. It's a way to kind of ignore that problem. But his drinking doesn't get any better because later on we see him next scene go he's being kicked out of a bar, and the way Lorre plays him is like there's a humor to it and there's a sadness to it. I think that's what makes the character interesting. Like as much as you're laughing at his actions, at the same time you're like, man, this guy's in trouble. Yeah. And next up was a scene that I liked where he's using different I won't say excuses. He's using different things, saying different things to get people to give him money. I know we were liking that. I was part. I mean,
it's like I'm a veteran of the Revolutionary War.
Give me money, and then he goes up to two women.
Yeah,
and is like, oh, will you help a cripple out? Give me money. And they just like. And they just walk away. And then he goes up to another guy. He's like, "Oh, I'm dying." And the guy's like, he's just like, he passes him. He says something. The last one was just funny, where he just finally gives up. He goes, "I want money.
Give me money."
Yeah. It's like maybe that'll work. I'm just forthright with everything. But like, I mean, like Lorre, like, did you like how his performance was? Like,
oh yeah, he was great. He was just great all around. Mm-hmm. He was funny. Mm-hmm. He was serious when he needed to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, especially at the end.
And it just goes to show why he's just another great old actor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like his range is just
in this like I want to say about like 30 minutes. This is what it was more or less. Yeah, he has a lot of range that he has to tap into, and he hits each mark so well. And then when none of that works, he walks by and he sees there's a wine merchants convention, a wine sellers convention. Same difference.
Yeah.
And He sneaks in like he's a wedding crasher.
And then he's like, I can taste wine just as well as anyone here.
Well, even before that, when he walks in, everybody just kind of stops and just looks at him. Yeah. It's like you hear like crickets.
And then they just go about their day.
You know, like, who is this random person walking in? He's just like picking up bottles and he's kind of like not walking straight and he's just like has this grin on his face. And the way that scene was filmed, I thought Corman did a really good job making it like funny and like strange at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's when we meet
Fortunato,
which is probably like Fortunato Lucrezi, Matt.
Yes.
And it's probably one of the most fun roles I've seen Price have. Like he's just enjoying this. He's having fun, not having to be serious or dour or mischievous or scheming.
So, I'm reading this trivia here. Mm-hmm. Apparently, this whole Black Cat segment was also used in another movie called A Comedy of Terrors.
Oh, so hence why the humorous aspects of it. That makes a lot of sense now. Mm.
Well, that came out in 1963, so I'm guessing they just took the segment and they changed a couple of aspects, and
I guess they got rid of the whole torture scene at the end.
I guess.
Does that makes sense? Yeah, I could see this more in like a. If you got rid of the ending, I could definitely see in like a comedy anthology movie.
Comedy of Terrors. Price and Laurie exchange the roles, and
they switch the roles.
Yeah, they switch their roles.
Oh, so Peter Lorre's doing all the weird wine tasting faces.
I guess.
You'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to watch. If you want us to watch Comedy of Terrors. It's Comedy of Terrors, right?
Yeah. Okay. The Comedy of Terrors.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Price is he's just fun in this role. It made me think of like when he played Egghead on Batman '66.
Yeah.
Like he was tapping into his comedic abilities, and he was doing it so well. Like his first appearance is like he's like popping his eyes, and he's very prim and proper and very goofy with a funny accent, which I think kind of comes and goes at times. But it's fine because it's just so fun to watch him play this role, and that's when Manchester says to him, "Oh, I can taste any wine and know where it's from," and he's just kind of like shrugging off, like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, it's just so funny when like Price's eyes pop out of his face. He's like, "What? You? No way."
You?
It'd be like somebody. It'd be like somebody like who either cooks like. I don't know. They cook something and like somebody says, "Oh, I can cook this." Like, no way, that's fancy. And they're like, "Oh, I can." Here you go. It's like Gordon Ramsay's reaction to people cooking some of his like harder dishes. Yes, that's a good comparison. And there's a line I wrote down with the like I don't know if it's Fortunato or who, but they're like, "We will take the risk." To this wine challenge, like, yeah, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
I think it was Fortunato who said that.
Yeah, and so when he's preparing to taste the wine, me and you were both laughing so much because it's just so funny. Vincent Price, he's speaking like, "Ooh," and he's like popping his eyes, making weird facial expressions,
and he's like gargling.
Yeah, and it made me think of like a Tex Avery cartoon or like a Looney Tunes the way he was acting. And it's just like going like what he goes like that's the proper way to taste wine, and then meanwhile Peter Lorre, that's Montrestro, is just like guzzling it down, like it's like a can of soda, and he keeps getting it right, and so they keep going back and forth, and what I liked about the way the scene was framed, that Corman and his editor did well, was as it's going on, they drink more. It's getting like elongated. It's spinning. It's kind of throwing you off balance. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Especially like as Montressor was getting more and more drunk, it was starting to get blurry, and you could see like, oh, he's about to pass out from drinking so much.
Like it's really putting you in his mindset. I mean, were you surprised that he knew his wine as well as he did?
No,
I was
because he drank a lot.
Yeah, but just because you drink a lot, I guess maybe wine's a little different. But like to break down all the ingredients that were in it or the fragrances or whatever, like when you're just drinking it to drink. You know, you're not drinking it to like taste and study and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it surprised me a little bit, which I guess made the scene work more for me in that way.
I mean, I was a little surprised, but at the same time, I'm like, he drinks a lot, so I'm sure he's he's around it a lot, so I'm sure he picked up some stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just feel like if you're like the way he was guzzling down the wine, he's not actually tasting it. He's just drinking.
He's drinking it to drink it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Honestly, do we find out who won?
No,
it's unclear. They just like the next scene is they're walking home.
Montresor is like
he's drunk,
completely drunk, and he's saying, "Hey, Sam!"
Yeah, it's like this the hit song of the 1800s. And he's like, "I'm not Sam." He goes, "Oh, okay."
Why aren't you singing with me, Sam?
So I mean, hey, nice on Fortunato's part to bring him home. This guy didn't have to do anything. He could just left him at the bar, just like sleeping it off on the street if he wanted to. But I guess maybe in a way that made it kind of like, oh, this guy's not bad. You know, which goes later on when he does what he does, makes you wonder, like, well, is he bad? I have thoughts on that. But when they walk in the house, he wants Fortunato to stay. Because, I mean, he's drunk. He's not even thinking, really.
Yeah, no.
He probably doesn't even know possibly who Fortunato is at this point. He's just some guy helping him. But the big development is that Annabelle meets Fortunato, and they bond over the cat, and he says that he has a bunch of cats at home. And you do see some sparks start to grow between the two of them.
Like, I don't think Fortunato was really in the wrong. I mean, he did something wrong, but I don't think he was... This was Montresor's fault.
Yeah, he neglected his wife all the time. He just wanted to drink. And the first time she met somebody that actually generally paid attention to her and actually took interest in either her or, you know, the things she liked, it makes sense why she'd be like, this guy's... He's nice. This is what I've been looking for. You know, so I agree. Yeah, I mean, what he did wasn't the best way to go.
No.
But you understand the motivations and the decisions they made. And then they get even closer after they bring Montresor back to his room. They dump on the bed and then they're hugging each other. Yeah. Which is, as far as they could go, I guess, in 1962 to show the romance of it all.
I mean... They don't show it, but they definitely heavily
they implied it. Yeah, we'll get to that. And then the next scene is just Montresor at the bar.
And being like, I got money, and I can pay for it.
Yeah, and the way Laurie is doing this is just so funny, where... Because the way, like, it kind of clicks in his mind. He goes, yeah, my wife's giving me money. She's letting me go out. I can drink.
I can stay out all night all I want.
And then, isn't the bartender who says something like, hey, isn't that Fortunato guy hanging around your house? And he's like...
Well, no, he didn't say that. He was just saying, like... He was just saying, like, wait, she's letting you spend all night out and... What?
The wise bartender. Like in every movie. Did you suspect, though, before that moment? Because I had a feeling that, like, oh, yeah, she's obviously giving the money so she can be with him. Did you think that, or did you not?
I thought that almost immediately. I was like, oh, as soon as they hugged, I'm like, oh, yeah. No, they, whatever she does is...
It's for her an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And then this is a weird thing this movie does, or the story where there's like a freeze frame thing that they do. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? So like after he says that thing, the bartender says that thing to him.
Yeah.
And then it freezes and it becomes kind of like a drawing, like, and then it goes to black. And it does it a lot. It was a choice. It was kind of like it didn't need to be in the movie. I think it works better at the end when you're kind of putting a stamp on the end of the story.
Yes.
I don't think it works as well
in the middle of the story.
Yeah. And I wonder in the comedy movie if it's more like they have a funny music to go with it. But to jump on the Family Guy comparison, I put down like, oh, Fortunato's like Peter Griffin. I mean, like, he's going out drinking, and there's a guy that is in love with his wife, like Quagmire, you know, or Brian, if you want to go either way. But
Montresor's like Peter Griffin.
Montresor's like Peter Griffin. So I'm just thinking about that. It's like, Lois, where's the cat? I could just jump onto the comedy route. But Yeah, I thought the way that they led into the reveal was good.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's seeing Fortunato leave the house, and he's just like, "Oh, bye, darling." And he's kissing her hand, and Montrezl just in the background sneaking, like, "Oh, now that I know," I'm pressed probably, like, the moment where he's like, "I'm going to put a..." Do you think that's the moment he put the plan in place, or the next scene?
I think he put the plan in place when he saw it, and basically confirmed what he thought in the previous scene.
Say, I'm going to do something about this. Yeah. And, yeah, so the scene I was talking about before was, then he goes up to the bedroom, and the bed's a mess. That's implying, they were sleeping together for, there's no other way to look at it. She's kind of, like, trying to hide, like, no, I'm just, I took a nap. I was tired. But
he came home early.
Yeah, but and then, so what I like about, you could say in some ways, like, this moves things along very quickly, but at least it kind of, like, builds up to something unlike the first story.
Yeah.
Because when the wife finally does admit to Montrezl that she's in love with Fortunato, it feels like it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
Like, she just kind of finds, like, you know what, I'm not going to lie about it. Yeah, she's like, I'm in love with him. I don't like you. I'm going to leave him. I'm going to leave you, when I can. But it's almost like she's like, this is over. And then that's the point where, like, Montrezl's like, now if I can help it. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And then it builds up to, building to the finale.
Yeah.
But Montrezl invites Fortunato for dinner. Now, I guess it's fair to say that Fortunato wouldn't have, like, had any suspicions about this.
No.
Because he'd be like, he doesn't know anything. Because up to that point, he thinks the wife's still there, right? Because she's in the basement at this point.
Yeah, she's dead or dying in the basement.
Do you think he killed her after she admitted that to him? Or just locked her up?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, she is dead when...
Yeah, when he chains up Fortunato.
So, yeah, he had to have.
Okay, yeah. But, yeah, so, like, he brings Fortunato over for dinner, and they have sherry, and he says something under his breath about a long life, and he's like almost like, not you, and he's like, what'd you say? No, nothing. Every time they do that in a movie, I feel like somebody's like, no, you said something. What'd you say? It wasn't nothing. You want to, like, hide it that well. I mean, Fortunato has nothing to doubt. I mean, he doesn't think this. I guess, is it poison? Because he thinks it doesn't kill him. It's just like
he just drugged him.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of that, Vincent Price and Peter Lorre, just like their like on screen like dynamic was great.
They really kind of like played off of each other's characters so well. Like Price was challenging like a silly, ridiculous character. This expert who thought he knew everything and was almost like kind of like in some ways having fun sneaking around. And then Lorre is just kind of like drunk, but like when he gets serious, like you start to get a little like nervous around him. But the way the two of them had their banter was just so good.
Yeah.
Like, and it's almost like in those moments, it's kind of like, oh, does one know something the other doesn't, and stuff like that. But yeah, two excellent performances in this middle movie story. I keep using the same words. Did you like too that when the way Price, when he drinks the wine, he's like gulp, and he's like he just falls down.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's like boom. You expect to hear those cartoon effects. And then when he does wake up, that's when we really get the horror of this story. Up till now, it's been kind of like
a silly comedy.
Yeah, silly comedy, rom-com-ish, if you will. I mean, but he's chained up, and he's
being walled in.
Yeah, and the way he's pleading with him. He's kind of laughing because I think he's trying to process it. You get nervous, you start laughing sometimes, and like the way he's just asking for him, and like Montrezl is just ignoring him. It just makes you realize, oh, this guy is he's taking a dark turn. Like you get scared of him. But hey, we get the motif for the recurring image of a premature burial again. Yeah, Poe story. There has to be at least one. But that set was really good. That basement scene.
That basement scene was really cool. And they used that set really well, like multiple times throughout the movie.
Yeah, they pulled back to show more of it than I expected to. Because in that scene where he's walling in Fortunato, like you just get one aspect, and then when you see the actual basement, you're like, oh, this is a bigger set than I thought it was. It's just the moment when he puts the final break in, it's kind of like it fades away, and then you see him put the break in, but like in your head, you're just like, geez, like you imagine just seeing like the light leaving you, and you're just chained up and can't move.
That's basically how the story, the Poe story ends. Is the final brick is put in.
Ooh, that's a good way to end it. Yeah, but that's not how this one ends.
No, this one ends. This one has a little bit more added in. Mm-hmm.
After he finally puts Fortunato away, he's looking for another drink on Tresor.
Yeah.
And he knocks over a pot, and there's money in it. So I guess the white boy's hiding the money, in that spot the whole time, possibly. So what does he do? Matt, what does he do with that money?
He goes out drinking.
No, he doesn't just go out drinking. He buys rounds for everybody. he's the coolest guy in town. But it's funny because, like, I'm putting my notes down. Like, the bartender seemed like he was a little suspicious of, like, how'd you get all this money? It's very weird for you to be buying drinks for everybody when you've been struggling to buy drinks for yourself.
And then when he says, oh, my wife won't be any problem anymore.
So you expect me to go, like, wink, wink. It's like, that doesn't help what I'm thinking. You're making it worse. So I wonder if he's probably the one that called the cops.
He did.
Oh, he did. They did say that, right?
They said the cops... well, before that...
well, I'm just saying, like, later on. But, before that, Montresor goes home, and we get
our nightmare sequence.
Which is... I'm glad they kind of keep that consistent with all the movies. Because we don't get that in the first one. We don't get it in the second one. I mean, the third one. Yeah. But it's nice that, Corman at least makes a point to...
Put at least one in.
And this one was a little weird. Just because the way it was filmed... They stretched the lens so like everything's kind of like elongated.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a logo right now when if you see it, like it's just like stretched out. But it was, the scene was good, but it was very distracting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the transition and everything was well done, but it was just weird.
Yes. It was definitely weird, and like not even just the way it was filmed, but like the contents of the nightmare were just like.
Did you find it hard to see some of the things that were going on at times, just because it was just a little stretched out?
Yes and no.
I feel like some details were like a little
little bit, but the stuff that you needed to see, was front and center.
Yeah. But it was just kind of like... It was a weird choice because I don't know... Was it trying to tap into him being drunk like we saw earlier?
Probably.
I just don't think it worked as well. I mean, the sequence is great, but just that little detail's a little off for me.
So during that dream sequence, he's freaking out. He goes down into the basement, and he sees the ghosts of...
Fortunato
and Annabelle. And they knock off his head...
Yeah. And then they play catch with it.
So, another trivia thing is between takes, the actors would toss Peter Lorre's fake head around. Well, all of the actors except for Lorre, because he just thought it was creepy.
I would too. I mean, wouldn't you, Matt, if you were like playing with like a model head of yourself? It'd be a little strange. It's like a little like weird. I could see like going like, you guys have fun, do what you want to do. I'm gonna drink and get into character. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but so at least they had fun on the set.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get back on track. Yeah, I wonder like if you saw this on a different screen, if it would
maybe
be different. But then after that...
But he's also hallucinating all these different animals.
Yeah, he sees a lizard and a snake. Does he see a spider? That's in the last movie.
No, he sees a spider.
Okay. And then he gets woken up with by the cops. Yes. And that's, like we were saying before, the bartender was like, hey, we just want to follow up on something. That's when they see the spider when they're walking down the basement. Yeah. And then I think he asked the cops if he can have some whiskey or something like that.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm hallucinating.
Yeah.
Can you give me some whiskey to make me stop hallucinating.
Yeah, it's like I just had a dream with the man and woman I walled up, ripping my head off and playing with it. It's like I mean I'm having a weird dream. And then like when they investigate the cell, this people saying like we see a
bigger set.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so this is funny because then like we see the wife's ghost, like he's hallucinating, he's going crazy now, he's going mad, and we see the wife unfortunately pop up here and there, kind of taunting him even more. I thought that was cool.
Before that, like when he's walling up, you see the black cat jump onto the bricks, the pile of bricks that he's.
Oh really? Oh, I must have missed that. Oh, interesting. So it came as more of a surprise. Where it was kind of like
it was kind of a little seated.
Yeah.
But he didn't jump into the wall. He just jumped into like the basket or whatever.
Oh, and while he was doing it, he might have thought it was a brick. You know, he got a bit drunk while he was doing it too. But yeah, it seems like Price and Jameson were having fun playing those ghosts because they seemed like they were like reveling in this silliness of it. And it wasn't like ghosts; it was just kind of like light makeup on the face and like faded clothes. But this like the way they were kind of taunting Peter Lloyd's character was just funny. But during this whole scene, you said the cast of. I'm saying the name of the story wrong. What's it again?
The comedy.
No, the story that's based on.
The Black Cat and Cask of Amontillado.
Cask of Amontillado. I was thinking Telltale Heart. By the end, it would feel like it was Telltale Heart because you hear a meow, and he's like, do you hear that? It's that crazy meow.
So the meowing is actually from the Black Cat.
Okay.
So in the Black Cat, this guy kills his roommate or wife's cat. Mm-hmm. And he's starting to hallucinate things.
I'm thinking about the Fall of Usher from the Netflix series because they did that. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's very similar to that.
Okay.
And what ends up happening is, at one point, he's hearing a cat in the walls, and he's like trying to break open the walls to find where the cat sound is coming from.
Okay, interesting. So
it does end with him like getting hanged.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow! Oh yeah, just like spoilers, very much like the Netflix show. Yeah, between the hallucinations of seeing Fortunato, Annabelle, and the cat, it was making me think of Telltale Heart because like the guilt of it is starting to drive him crazy. Like everything he sees or hears, it's kind of like it's trying to bring that confession to the surface. I do like, I said in my notes, like, oh, he's using a Jedi mind trick. When they hear, like, do you hear that meow? Because the cops are hearing the meow.
Yeah.
You know, he's not seeing the ghost, but you're hearing the meow. And he's like, oh, there's no meow here. You know, these aren't the meows you're looking for. Does it work? No, absolutely not.
Because they're smart cops, and they're like, what's behind that wall?
He's not even a Padawan. Okay. But then the cops, and I thought it was a pretty good scene, the breaking down the wall, and they find the bodies chained up, and the cat's on top of it. Like you said, it was buried. And then his face is just like, uh-oh. And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
And then we get, like, a still image, like we were saying before, this story does something weird where it, like, there's a freeze frame a lot of times that I don't think is needed, but the freeze frame here feels
earned.
Yeah, because it feels like the version of just saying the end to us.
Yeah.
And then we get another text from Poe. Yeah. Something I want to say, so this movie kind of mixed, you said 2, I'm saying like 3 different Poe stories. Do you feel like that worked here? The mixing a lot of ingredients.
I think it worked better than just doing one, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Like, it took the necessary elements from the 2 Poe stories and put them in a blender and made them work really, really well. Whereas, like, just doing the one story didn't flesh anything out.
Oh, interesting. All right. So it's kind of like... So Richard Matheson, he wrote all 3 stories.
Yeah.
And so you feel like it's a case of, like, when he's adapting Poe, it works well. When he's just kind of like, I like this and I like this, and there's a way if I combine the 2 into one story, I have something even better in front of me.
Yeah.
So you feel like it's better them combining stories or changing it than just going like, here's the story, boom, let's just change one thing and then follow what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it does work. I agree with you. I think this is probably, we'll say it again later on, but like probably the top story in the anthology so far, just because it feels like it's a natural beginning, middle, and end, where it's like so far with like Morella, there was like a beginning, something of a middle, and an abrupt end. But this feels like everything that built up to this finale
is earned.
It's earned. It happens naturally.
Even if it's way more in like a comedy territory for most of it.
It threw me off. Like I felt like I was watching like I said, like a sitcom episode. But to the credit of the story and Corman and Matheson, they found a way to kind of like really take a dark turn along the way and make it more suspenseful with that climax and him putting them in the wall and then going crazy seeing the ghost and hearing the cats meow. But overall solid. Good, once again, good acting from everybody here. The sets was something new. I really liked that, and the cat was adorable. I liked the cat.
I think this story was. I think it's the most interesting of the three. Yeah,
this could have even been like, if this was the only story of the whole thing that we saw, like this was just like a 30-minute short film, I would have been fine with it. I wouldn't have felt like there doesn't need more to be said. It was like, no, I got a whole tale put in front of me. Good. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. All right. And now we'll move on to our last story, the facts in the case of Mr. Valdemar. The facts in the case of Mr. Valdemar deals with Ernest Valdemar Price, who's dying of a horrible disease and has hired mesmerist Mr. Carmichael Basil Rathbone to help ease his pain. While Ernest completely believes in Carmichael and his work, Ernest's wife Helene, Deborah Paget, and his physician, Dr. Elliot James, David Frankham, don't trust him at all. Making matters worse, Ernest has promised to let Carmichael hypnotize him on his deathbed. When death arrives for Ernest, Carmichael jumps to action and uses his skills to trap Ernest's mind in a state between life and death. Helene and Elliot plead with Carmichael to free Ernest from this horrible fate, but he refuses as he uses his control to further his own evil agenda. Alright, so this is the last story in the anthology film. Thoughts?
I don't dislike this. I would say this, if I had to rank them, this would probably be my second favorite.
Same.
It probably, because I've actually read the story, and
so
the story is very similar. Like, it's almost beat for beat.
Oh, wow.
There's less characters, but it's very much like...
I'm guessing it's just Ernest and the Carmichael?
It's that, and it's written like it's a news article.
Okay.
So, at the time when it was published, people thought it was an actual real thing.
Hence like the same with the premature burial and what influenced that.
Well...
Oh, that was more of a poem, right? What was the
that,
one
that was... Well, premature burial was also written like a news article.
Yeah,
but
okay.
This was written like someone... people actually thought this was a real thing. And Poe had to go out and be like, no, this is fiction.
I'm sure Poe was like, it worked!
And so people were freaking out. Mm-hmm. And similar to like the radio broadcasts of War of the Worlds.
Okay, interesting. So this one opens up again with the narration by Price, and it's like dripping blood. It's said in the story. And then when we cut from the red color beat on the black background to Technicolor. Yeah. We see these red, yellow, blues flashing in front of him, and you're kind of like, in Price's talking like this, and you realize that he's in like hypnotherapy. He does a mesmerist, Carmichael, who's putting him under, and he goes on to explain the reason he's doing this because he's dying. He's dying of a painful disease, and this is the best way to cure it for him, or not cure it. I'm sorry, to
alleviate the pain.
Yeah. Because he knows there's no cure, but at least he can be pain-free. It's one of those things he has to think about. And he seems very trustful of Carmichael. I mean, the way Rathbone plays a character, it's like, no, he's up to something else. You know it, but for the sake of the story, Price is very like.
Price, I think, is very naive in this.
Yes, that's a good word. Yeah.
He's too trusting and to his own detriment.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like just trusting like a snake oil salesman. Just like,
yeah,
they're saying this is help, and then like I feel like it is, but really they have something else to going after.
Right.
That's a good way to describe his character this time around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. but everybody else doesn't trust him. As
No,
much.
nobody else trusts him.
Helene, and
she's doing it because her husband's like, look, this makes me feel less pain, so we're gonna keep doing this. And she's like, okay, but I don't trust them.
It's like you do what you have to do to help yourself, even though I don't really agree with it. And Elliot is just like, this guy's a kook. He's using you. I question everything about what he's doing.
The medical efficacy of any of this.
I mean, it's almost kind of like herbal remedies versus like medical practices. It's kind of like, and so it raises that interesting question in this movie. Does it go deeper into that? Not really, but the question is there. But yeah, I was mistaken. Like, yeah, he's doing what he can just to ease his pain. Even if it's something maybe in his head like doesn't work, but if it makes me think it works, I'm fine with it. And then we learn like essentially almost like why Carmichael is doing this. It's very kind of mad scientist like.
He wants to trap the mind between life and death to see how long it can survive past death.
Yeah, it makes me think of like when I was like was watching something or reading something. They were talking about like the guillotine, and they did like experiments to see like how long like the head would still be alive afterwards. It's very macabre, and this kind of makes you think of like Frankenstein's like overseeing his ethical limits and exceeding his grasp a lot. It's funny how like Ernest is just very like, it's fine, we'll just do it, no problem, like he's helping me so he keeps my mind in a permanent state between life and death. What's the big deal? But to the credit of the side characters, Helene and Elliot, they really do try to talk Ernest out of it. They're like, this is wrong.
It's like he's controlling you. You don't understand how things are when you're under and the way he's treating you.
That's right, because he doesn't know what's going on. He just knows that they're easing the pain because he's probably like hypnotizing him to not feel the pain. Yeah. But yeah, Helene and Elliot are like, no, we see what he's doing. We see what you're like, and he's just kind of everything he says, you're saying almost. And not the same way, but the idea of control is there. But you know, nothing they do works, and I do like the side characters in this. I mean, they're
very skin deep.
Surface level.
Surface
and,
level.
But the decision they do at the end is just very like, whoa, okay, you went there. But up to this point, they're just really trying to just be persuasive and just trying to like, I know you're dying, I know you're sick, but this isn't how you should be going about it. It feels wrong. But
Basil Rathbone's really good.
Yeah, he played like a very creepy, like
mad scientist.
Yeah. This doctor who's just kind of like, I got a plan. He's expecting like if he had a mustache, he'd be twirling his mustache. Go hee hee. Before all that, I think what also helps is that Ernest says to Helene that, you know, once I'm done,
I want you to marry Dr. James.
Yeah, it shows that he knows that this process won't last forever. You know, he'll be gone soon, but he wants her to be happy. Like, and that's like a big point. I'm glad they had that scene because it really matters later on. Yeah. But it's a very genuine moment. I thought Price, like you say, he's playing naive, but he's also trying to like play, be sympathetic. You are sympathetic to what he's going for, even if you're like, it's very like blatant that something else is going on. You know, she promises Ernest that she'll do whatever he wants. Yeah. And the scene between, like I said, you know, Paget, Frankham, and Price, they're very good in the scenes they have together. And then cut to, that's the thing too, a lot of stuff, I'm sure they say time has passed, but boy, they just cut to like him on his deathbed right away. Like, the he's like, hey, Eileen, go marry Elliot when I die.
I mean, it makes sense. You could kind of tell the time's passed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just
from the way characters are acting with each other.
Yeah, it's just that case too of like, you get the sense that the story is done very fast.
Streamlined.
Yeah. And then he's dying, and Carmichael, like I said, he really jumps to action. He gets his device, and he's dying, and he's spinning the stuff around. And I thought Price had a really, really good, again, the monologues that he gives in Maybe not in the second movie.
Yeah,
much,
because he's less of the main character in the second one. Mm-hmm. He's more of a secondary.
But the one he gives to this one, we talking about death and like what he's feeling and what he's seeing. It's just very like it's unsettling the way he presents it. It's very, well done, and just a testament to how good of an actor he is. That you don't have to see anything; you just feel what he's saying.
Yeah, and as I said, 3 totally different characters across the spectrum of the stories.
It really showed that this guy could play any character, and it's fun to see him in these B movies, but give credit to his abilities. Like, he could act and make you feel in his performances. But did you feel Carmichael was up to something, like, from the start, or, like, at this moment? Like, that's when I'm like...
Probably about the time when he was on his deathbed.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, he's asking them these questions as when he's starting to die, but it's just like, oh, he's up to something. Like, he seems like he's like putting a plan into place now, because he's asking questions about like what he sees as he's dying, what's there, and Ernest is saying that like there's nothing there. There's a bunch of people, and in my head, spoiler-esque, I guess, but like it made me think of like what he was describing is what you see in the Insidious movies when they go to the other side. I forget what it's called, but like it's kind of like what he's describing is what I see in those movies. Like there's people, there's darkness, and it gives you like an unsettling feel, and it makes it even worse when he keeps him in that state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indefinitely.
Oh yeah, for a long time. And it's frustrating to see because you're seeing him like as time goes on, suffering more and more, being frustrated, and it's like you're trapped.
He's even like pleading at one point towards the end, like, "Let me go, let me out of this."
And I thought it was interesting too the way Price played this role here because he's like he's talking like this, and the whole time, and it's kind of like the more he's suffering, the more that tone in his voice and the way he's talking gets like longer and longer. Like he's like struggling to keep going. I mean, did you? Part of me was thinking like, this is a mesmerist, this is a hypnotist. Is everything that Ernst is saying? I don't know if you were thinking this is just coming out of Carmichael, like it's putting like a thought in his head.
When he says that he wants Helene to marry Carmichael, that was put in by Carmichael.
But up to then, do you think it was just?
I think most of it was him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
he had some control over what he was saying,
but it was just like he was trapped in that state between two beings.
Yeah,
it was weird because it felt like I felt like Carmichael was kind of like Frankenstein meets a Ghostbuster. Like he's using signs and trapping it. Like this is a proton pack is Ernest, and he's just keeping the ghosts there without releasing them. Elsewhere. So something like time passes, and then Ernest is suffering. Carmichael is taking over the house, I guess.
Yeah,
he saw that, and then the butler is just walking in, like helping, like this is normal. I wonder if in between the months or the time that Ernest was under, he was starting to like use him to say this. Oh, I want him to stay in the house. Oh, make sure he does whatever you ask him to do.
I'm sure he did.
Because he seemed like he was a powerful mesmerist. That he had a way to like control people. It seems like it makes you think this was the first time this happened. Because we'll find out later, like why he seems like he was doing this. But I wonder if there's more to the story there too. But I mean, like overall, his character, like Carmichael, like we keep saying like he was like villainous. I mean, he was a villain, but like did you see him as a Frankenstein? Or
he was definitely a mad scientist. He was just a evil mad scientist who wanted to learn more about what's beyond death. And
he didn't care who he had to use to make it happen. Just a thought I had. And then we kind of get toward the climax. This was a very short story.
That's why it
seems like we were like kind of like talking about, but there's like not as much to talk about.
This was very short, but it probably had more impact than
Morella.
It had way more impact than Morella because the side characters were slightly more fleshed out.
Yeah, more interesting.
And more interesting.
There's a bigger cast, too, you know?
And there was a more interesting... Almost a more interesting plot overall.
Because there's something... I mean, do we see a lot of hypnotism in the
No, this is literally the only story.
So it did kind of, like, change the pace of, like, what we had seen up to this point.
This is one of his few actually, like, supernatural...
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the end, about how this ends. But, yeah, and to be fair, too, like, we got two stories that didn't always have the same tropes that we had seen previously. Like, there was no premature burial this time around, although you could say he was buried in his mind. Yeah, so we reached the finale of the story. Helene and Elliot come back, and they pretty much just, they're like, we don't care at this point, we'll do what we have to. And Elliot pulls out a gun. And he's holding it at Carmichael, kind of, you'll release him, you'll let him die. And I mean, Ernest wants it. He keeps saying, like, just release me, I want to go.
And Carmichael's like, well, if you kill me, then how will he be released?
That was kind of a creepy thought. Like, to be stuck like that with nobody, you know, if he's the expert here, yeah, he would be the only one that could stop this. Like we were saying, too, with Carmichael's really controlling Ernest this whole time, we get the idea that, at least at this point, maybe he had been using his skills to get people to do what he needed to do, hence why he's living there. But it also seems like, before we get to that, it doesn't seem like he's getting frustrated, too, with Ernest.
Yeah, because he's not getting what he really wants. Which
like,
is what it's like after death.
Yeah, he's just getting, like, I'm in pain, I'm in darkness. He goes, I know, you've been saying that for months. What else? Like, yeah, so he's not getting the research he wants. To be fair, maybe, you know, good for Ernest to not give this guy what he was trying to get. But jumping back to what I was saying before, Ernest suddenly says, don't marry Elliot, marry Carmichael. And that's when Helene's like, she's like fighting with, Carmichael gets very handsy. It's not a good scene. It makes him even worse of a character as it's going on. But that's when you're getting an idea, like, now he's saying thoughts, and he's like making this happen. And was that his end goal, though? Was to marry Helene, or that was just part of it?
I think it was part of it. And then she's like, I'm not having any of this. I'm gonna pretend like I'm into it just to get close to him and tell him, like, no, you definitely made him say that.
Yeah, but Rathbone, like, he's playing like this, like, very evil
mad
scientist doctor, like, really well. And yeah, that was just trying to think, like, his plan. I guess, again, it feels like some information could have been presented a little bit more, but, like, was his plan at this point to marry her? Was it to get Ernest's money, or was it to get the research? Like, was it everything, I guess?
My guess is everything.
Okay. It's almost like, while I'm here, I might as well have a woman with me, or something like that. It's a creepy moment when Carmichael was just trying to, like, force everybody to do what he wants.
Yes.
Just because he can, he has that ability. But then what happens, Matt? Who comes to save the day?
the dead body of
Ernest.
Yeah.
And it's the way the scene's directed is pretty well, because, like, you give a close-up of, like, Ernest's face, and Price wakes up, and he's just kind of, like, almost like...
His face is, like, melting.
Well, it's like, it's melting, but then, like, he's, like, pale, his skin's all, like, dried out. It's almost like, makes you think, like, if you imagine the Mummy walking, that's what Ernest looks like here. And, as Carmichael's fighting with Helene, like, then he turns around, and he sees Ernest is alive! How? Power of love. That's what I'm going with. And he walks over, and, but like you said, like, as he's walking, his face is melting?
Yes.
At the same time, and it made me think of Clayface from Batman. The way it looked. And it's oozing, and, then finally, kind of like with Morella, they kind of, like, he, like, chokes him, and then, there's a pile of goo on the ground, and Carmichael's dead, and that's it. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, it's true to the story.
It is that he's melting.
Well, that he's melting, and that all that's left of him is the melted bones.
Do they give a reason for that?
That he was kept in that state for as long as he was. That he just started decomposing as.
Oh, so the body's still alive, so to speak.
Yeah.
But the mind's somewhere else. Okay, I guess that makes sense. It's just. Seeing it's just kind of jarring at times because, again, I put down my notes what? Again, there's a way I had the same feeling at the end of Morella. I was just like, wait, what? What happened? I think I know what happened, but what happened? It was weird. I don't think it had the scary impact
that it probably wanted.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it wasn't weird. It was weird. It was interesting and weird, but it wasn't freaky. I guess it was freaky. It just didn't have the same impact as when we see Morella's body or we see other corpses in some of the other movies where you're like, holy cow. So you just felt kind of about the ending? I
mean, as I said, it's true to the story. Mm-hmm. So they did a really good job adapting the ending of that story.
Yeah.
I think it was a little rushed.
Okay.
If they had Even if they had just title cards of how long
yes,
he's been
I agree. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In that state,
mm-hmm.
you would have gotten a better sense of, this is what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's the end of, this is a long title, The Facts in the Case of Mr. Valdemar.
And the end of
the movie. Then it literally just ends like that. But I did like the end. They had cool title cards.
Yeah.
And they had, again, more spooky music from Baxter. It was really cool. And something I thought was interesting was they did have a technical advisor for the hypnotism. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's really cool.
So they at least did, their research and the work to make it feel genuine and real. And in some ways, it felt believable. Even as cartoonish it was, it felt believable.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, you share your thoughts first, Matt, about what you felt about Tales of Terror.
One really, really good story. Mm-hmm. One just okay story, mm-hmm. and one story that just failed to hit the mark for me.
I felt compared to the other movies, again, I know it's an anthology movie, and the stories, not every anthology movie is perfect.
Yeah, no.
There's always one or two stories that just don't work. To me, compared to the other movies, it just felt more like a Halloween special you find on TV than it feels like a feature film. It feels like something that they would have shown on TV. Halloween nights coming up, we did these short stories, versus
that's fair.
That's
fair.
And I feel like if you look at the TV movie format, it works pretty well. For what
even with the fades to black.
Yeah, it felt like commercial breaks. Whereas the other movies, they felt like bigger and bolder. And this one, at times, stories felt rushed. At times, it felt like there was some information that would have been helpful. Throughout the board, though, acting great from everybody.
Yeah.
Like we said, Price putting on 3 different hats, and he hit the mark every single time. Not just giving you good acting, but different acting every time. It just little, I guess, frustrating because I like the screenplays that Matheson had done before, and
this is probably the weakest of his screenplays.
Yeah, and
probably because he was juggling three or 4 different stories.
You gotta look into that concept and context. And yeah, the first one, I agree with you, was a good start, but just wasn't as good as it could have been. Second one felt like a complete story, and third one felt pretty much like it was a complete story.
Yeah.
It just felt like some things were a little bit
condensed.
Yes.
Streamlined a little too much.
But yeah, I would say same thing with you. I mean, do you want to do the ranking of the not the movies, but the stories and Tales of Terror first?
Yeah, I would say my favorite story was the Black Cat, Cascamontiato mashup. Mm-hmm. Second one was probably the cases what was it? The facts in the case of Mr. Valdemar. Mm-hmm. And the third one was Morella, and it's a wide distance between Morella and the facts in the case.
Yeah, same here. If it had just been the second and third movie, maybe I would have liked it more. But
Yeah,
Morello just
like,
kind of like takes it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, good acting, but if you were to watch it and you just you would see that it's just a very quick story, and there could have been more. I feel like Morello could have been its own movie.
It felt like they set something up and nothing got done.
Yeah, although the mummified body corpse in the Morello was good.
Yeah, like there was aspects of Morello that were good. It's just the story as a whole just failed to hit the mark.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so at this point we're gonna be stopping the Roger Corman post-cycle movies. We watched 4 of them for now. We will go back to them at another time. Would you like to do a ranking of the movies now, or do you want to save it for when we watch them all?
I think we could do a ranking now.
Okay.
I would say The Pit and the Pendulum, House of Usher, then this, and then The Premature Burial.
Okay, so my ranking is very similar to yours. However, I would put The Premature Burial above this. I guess I like that was at least
a complete story.
Yeah, and I like that it had some interesting ideas to it. I still feel like, just basing the movie just around the Premature Burial instead of being something that it's built up to, wasn't as interesting as other movies, but I liked the story that we got. I thought, like I said, interesting ideas. Tales of Terror, I thought was fine, but it just didn't hit the same mark for me.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But at least we can agree Pin and Pendulum and House of Usher
are great movies, and everyone should check them out.
Highly recommended to get
for horror fans and non-horror fans. I think they work great as just dramas.
Yeah, and you get one movie where Vincent Price plays the villain, and one where Vincent Price plays the hero, and then becomes a villain. Spoiler. But if you listen by now, you know that what happens. All right. So anything else you want to say about Tales of Terror?
No.
Okay. All right. So you want to do the? You want?
I have to write things down.
Thank you for tuning in to a review for Tales of Terror 1962.
You can find us at _franchise_connection at Instagram.com. And you can email us with suggestions or anything you want, with questions.
Let us know how we're doing.
Let us know how we're doing. All that stuff at franchiseconnectionpodcast@gmail.com.
On our next episode, we're taking a break before our next franchise watch to check out another failed film franchise with 2017's Bright. I remember seeing this before. I remember interested because I remember liking it, but did you like it?
I thought it was just okay when I originally saw it. I wonder if it was just the mood I was in when I saw it.
Or just wasn't like in the mood for it.
I don't know. I just thought it felt like very generic fantasy crime thriller.
Okay. It'd be interesting to see if it holds up to my memory of how it was before. That'd be fun.
It'll be very different.
Absolutely.
Because we're actually getting a fantasy movie instead of...
Yeah, this is our first fantasy movie. It's no horror. Well, it's action, but it's fantasy action. Yeah, all good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Until franchise fatigue sets in, I'm Matt Fisher.
I'm Matt Sparrow.
For the Franchise Connection. Bye.
Bye.